Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn module number 3, short stories of partition literature paper for your semester 4. In the previous lectures, we learned the two general topics, that is impact of partition on women and second part, home and exile. The concept of home and exile. Now we are going to learn the particular short stories which are written on the theme of partition. The first short story is prescribed for you, that is Toba, Singh. Here, first of all, we learn about the introduction to the author and what is the particular life and works of a writer, that is Sadat Hassan Manto, who born in 1912 and died in 1955. He was the greatest chronicle of the most turbulent episodes of his country's history. See, he is a witnessed he was witnessed the period of partition and wrote about all the events happened in front of his eyes. Born into a middle class Muslim family of barristers in Papraudi village of Samrala in the Ludhiana district of Punjab, he traced his ancestral roots to Kashmir and felt proud to follow the Kashmiri cultural ways. He was a novelist, screenwriter, author, playwright, essayist, and extremely admired short story writer. In 1933, he met Abdul Bari Alig, a scholar and polemic writer who laid a path for his literary crave for French and Russian authors. See, he wrote and read about the French and Russian authors. He started his literary career translating works of literary giants such as Victor Hugo, Oscar Wilde, and Russian writers like Chekhov and Gorky. Urdu translation of Victor Hugo's novel The Last Day of a Condemned Man as Sarguzashte Asir, a prisoner's story, published by Urdu Bookstall, Lahore. Then he joined the editorial team of Masawat, Delhi, published from Ludhiana. His early 20s, in his early 20s, he translated much works of French, English, and Russian short stories into Urdu. He used to write an entire story in one go with minimum corrections and actively displayed his skills by writing on bold subjects of human desires. In the Toba Singh also, we can learn about the human desires and subject of human desires. His first story, Tamasha, is based on the Jallianwala Bagh massacre at Amritsar that shows marked leftist and socialist leanings. In 1934, Manto pursued graduation at Aligarh Muslim University and linked himself with Indian Progressive Writers Association. Next, this is about the beginning period of the Manto's life and his literary career. Now, it is about his works. In March 1935, his second story, Inqilab Pasand, was published in Aligarh magazine. Later, in 1941, Manto agreed to join writing in Urdu provision for All India Radio. Within a short span of 18 months, he published collections of 4 radio plays, Ao, Manto ke Drame, Janaze, Teen Aurtein. See, all these short stories written related to the conditions before the partition and what is the common man's plight in this particular stories or in this particular radio plays. And those radio plays about the written about the contemporary situation of the partition, political situation and the social situation. So Janaze is related to the fundrails or the death of the Muslim and Hindu people due to partition. And next, short story collection Dhun, followed by Manto ke Afsane and Manto ke Mazhamain topical essays. In 1943, publication of his publication of his mixed collection of Afsane or Drame came out, while soon after a year, in July 1942, Manto left his job due to tussle with poet N.M. Rashid, director of the All India Radio. He came back to Bombay and worked with film industry. See, his skill for screenwriting came in forefront with the release of आ- आठ दिन चल 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 रे नौजवान Mirza Ghalib in 1954. He also wrote short stories during this time like Kali Salwar, Dhun or Boo. He also published another collection of short stories, Chugad. Here in this particular short stories, we can understand or the screenplays, we can understand how the situation of the partition is reflected in this particular short stories and plays. He showcases an unhesitant portrayal of various shades of human desires and suffering in his works. He portrays the darkness of the human psyche as humanistic values progressively declined around the partition. In January 1948, he shifted to Lahore, Pakistan after the partition of India and got in touch with well known scholars like Nasir Kazmi, Faiz Ahmad Rahi, and Ahmad Nadim Qasmi. He actively took part in literary debates and political discussions at Lahore's Ironic Park Tea House. He produced 22 collections of short stories, one novel, 5 series of radio plays, 3 collections of essays, and 2 collections of personal sketches. So, here we can understand how he was related to the all events of the partition and wrote about the partition in his particular literature. Manto died at the age of 43 due to the addiction to alcohol. He wrote boldly about alcoholism, sex and desire, prostitutes, and relationships. In his lifetime, he was charged with obscenity 6 times, thrice before 1947 in British India and thrice after independence in 1947, but never convicted. Manto's writings clearly depicted that he was not shy to write about sexual encounters and women's sexual needs. His final works, which grew from the social climate and his own financial struggles, reflected an innate sense of human impotency towards darkness and contained a satirism that verged on dark comedy as seen in his final work Toba Singh. It not only showed the influence of his own demons but also that of the collective madness that he saw in the ensuing decade of his life. To add to it, his numerous court cases and societal rebuffs deepened his cynical view of society from which he felt isolated. Here, this is the particular prescribed story for you, that is Toba Singh, which shows us about the condition of the society, and it is a satire on the society and at the same time the plight of common people and the people in the asylum. So, in the next lecture, we learn about the particular short story Toba Singh. Till then, thank you.